أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي أشدد به أزري وأشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم وصلى اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Welcome, dear friends. Some are here in person, so please welcome to all of you. So we are continuing with the rays, the 15th ray, which is called the shining proof, and we are on the second station. So this shining proof is a continuation of the exegesis of Surah Fatiha that the author was sharing based on a few verses that he kind of contemplated on. And now here in this section, we are looking at this particular verse, which is called the light verse, which is Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. God is the light of the heavens and the earth. The parable of his light is as if there were a niche and within it a lamp. The lamp enclosed in glass. The glass as it were a brilliant star, lit from a blessed tree, an olive, neither of the east nor of the west, whose oil is well nigh luminous, through fire scarce touched it. So no fire has ever touched it. Light upon light, God guides whom he wills to his light. Whom he wills to his light. God set forth parables for men, and God knows all things. This is from section 24, verse 35. And we discussed how the methodology of this author is to look at the universe alongside with the verses of the Quran and the human feelings and what they say. So we looked at the first example last time, paying attention to how he uses the method of linking the universe in terms of understanding what our purpose here in this world is. Of course, we can see ourselves as travelers who are given a lifespan in this world. And one can wonder what really is the purpose of a traveler, as me, as an individual who is given a particular lifespan as I see it, continuously changing. I don't see this universe as a permanent place, abode for me. So the questions do come as a human being. And then this author shares that, as a traveler, you're really, what could be your purpose? I mean, there's few questions that would come if I come into this universe and because I'm amazed at the wonderment, seeing it for the first time, like, what is this world? What am I? Who am I? What am I doing here? Who put me here? All those questions do come as a human being who is pondering over the existence of the things. So he says, the author says that, yes, our purpose is only to find our Lord and become acquainted with him. A very simple purpose, but our whole lifespan revolves around this particular purpose. I mean, all the other things that we may be doing are just the means to also be acquainted with our Lord. Otherwise, what is the point of living in this world? One could imagine only for a temporary period of time. So we will continue with the second sample of, as a traveler, what he sees in his journey. So the second sample of what the traveler saw on his journey through the worlds. So traveling through different worlds. Every day is a brand new day. Every moments are given brand new moments. So the traveler alighted from the ship of the earth and entered the world of animals and men. He looked at that world through the spectacles of the natural science, natural science, which does not receive its spirit from religion. And saw that although those innumerable animate creatures had endless needs, so animals and men have endless needs, and were assaulted by numberless vexatious enemies and pitiless events. Their capital was only 1,000th or even 100,000th of what they needed. Their power too was perhaps 1,000,000th of what was necessary to combat those harmful things. Yes, so we are on page 606 of the race. So the human beings and the animals are all fully needy. And their power too was perhaps 1,000,000th of what was necessary to combat those harmful things. Being connected to them through his intelligence and out of compassion for his fellow beings. Okay, before I go, I think Brother Ali has his hand up. Brother Ali, please share your thoughts.
Assalamu alaikum. I hope you are hearing me. Excuse me. Okay, I'm sorry, there was an interruption. When we look at our practical life, it doesn't seem to be. Then we look like I'm farming, doing, and the produce are coming, and also I'm working, getting money and buying what I need. What do you mean by saying that your power is just 1,000,000th of what you need? Of course, we know that, and we very frequently refer to this reality that when we define ourselves as body, yes, the need of body we are doing. Of course, we cannot create, but we are getting it through our free will. It means through our power. We work and get it, we do the things, we get it. Now, why the author says that you can only do 1,000,000th of it? Of course, everybody understood now that if you define yourself as a human being rather than a body, you understand that my human needs almost have nothing to do with my body needs. Body needs are temporary things. My human needs are infinite. That is why, as far as our human needs are concerned, we don't have any power at all, not 1,000,000th even. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Ali. So that's why I think the author is sharing that he looks at right now, looking at from the natural science perspective, which does not receive its spirit from religion. I mean, yeah, so the science only kind of pays more attention to the human body and the needs of the human body, and that's how the civilization has developed and structured itself accordingly to satisfy the human bodily needs mostly. And that's why the revelation comes to correct our real human side, to tell us what that's not your purpose as a traveler. Are you only a body as a traveler in this world? But that's a good point. So the millionth of power of what is necessary to combat as a from natural science, although they say we are improving many things for the human body so that that power can kind of augment with the tools that they are developing or being developed that we are using.
Even the traveling is not taking place through bodily traveling. Just intellectual, spiritual feelings, our reasoning is traveling now. That is human side.
Intellectual traveling, human traveling. Who thinks about that, Brother Ali? If you may share. All right. Anybody else would like to share anything so far?
Maybe helpful if I'm reminded how this is connecting with the verse of
The light verse.
The light verse. Yeah. Like how do I relate that this is a relevant interpretation? You know, because the light verse itself is a very interesting image of a lamp in a glass, and there's a star, and there's an olive tree, and so yeah, I want to understand how to connect this interpretation.
Sure, yeah. Any thoughts, anyone? From what I took away from last time also, we discussed about the Nur light.
Sure.
We linked it to the universe. It's like Iyyaka na'budu, Iyyaka nasta'in. The whole universe comes into play. I think so. The author is sharing how the light of God, what the light of God is definitely related to the universe, has to be there to receive the light. So everything in the universe gets the light. Human beings also receive the light. But let me see what you have more.
I mean, I guess one connection is in the way that this second sample is again using the existential state of creation to testify to the necessity of what we understand this light to be, which is the manifestation of a creator, and why that would be so. So okay, the light aspect connects in this sense. Okay, I guess there will be more about the verse later on.
Yeah, I mean, the latter part of the verse is more towards describing what this absolute being can be. I mean, what this light is, because it's like a parable. So it's abstract concept.
Right.
And even we've never seen a lamp, at least with that, which is not connected to the rest of the things in the universe. Even the electric lamp has an order to follow, or the old-time lamp, there's an oil that connects, that lights up. So with this description is something very weird, that you cannot have this kind of thing in this universe. But yet it lights up the whole, in terms of the spiritual light, the guidance that comes. But I'm sure there is more to this verse, because this is only one part, maybe point he's reflecting on, connecting it to the light in the universe. So if there's any other comment, please go ahead. So being connected to them through his intelligence. So their power too, so the beings which we discussed, a millionth of what was necessary to combat those harmful things, being connected to them through his intelligence and out of compassion for his fellow beings. So I guess through the power, limited power that is there. So man so pitied, or the animals, them in their ghastly plight, and feeling a hellish pain, was so sorry and despairing that he regretted 1,000 times over his ever having come to this wretched world. So no purpose kind of situation of what the natural sciences presents, or civilization, if it's only the bodily needs that one is after. So then suddenly Quranic wisdom came to his assistance, and handing him the telescope of those whom you have blessed. So it took the traveler to look through this particular phrase for those whom you have blessed, to those whom you have blessed. So the traveler looked and saw that through the manifestation of God is the light of the heavens and the earth. So the manifestation of God is the light of the heavens and the earth. Numerous divine names, such as most merciful, all compassionate, provider, bestower, munificent, and preserver. Each rose like the sun in the constellations of such verses as, and there is no living thing but he has hold of its forelock. Quran, section 11, verse 56. The beasts do not carry their own sustenance. God sustains them and you. Quran, section 29, verse 60. And other verse, and we have ennobled the sons of Adam. Quran, section 17, verse 70. And the pious shall be in bliss. Quran, section 82, verse 13. All right, so I'm thinking about what you said about how he connects this. God is the light of the heavens and the earth. He connects them to these divine names of, as he mentioned here. So all that light that is visible in the universe are nothing but the divine qualities being manifested, which we experience. So as an individual, is there any other way I can get to know this Lord besides the universe and the qualities being displayed in the universe? Or to know about the qualities of an artist without looking at his work of the art? Is there any other way that I can confirm, yeah, he's the artist, he's the designer, he's the provider, he is the compassionate one? So that tells me how important the universe's role is to get to know all these qualities, because in the universe is how we see all the manifestations of these qualities, and that is what the Nurus Samavati wal Ard is, the light of the heavens and earth. So I guess this light filled the world of men and beasts with mercy and bounties. So all these qualities, which is the light of the heavens and the earth, fulfills men's spirit, men's and beasts with mercy and bounties. transforming it into a temporary paradise. So transforming his world into a temporary paradise. The world of man and beast is transformed. So the traveler understood that they make known perfectly the generous host of this fine, instructive guest house, which is well worth being gazed upon. So the guest house is very instructive and well worth being gazed upon, to pay attention to it, to be studied. And 1,000 times he repeated, all praise be to God, the sustainer of all the worlds. All right, so that was the second example, linking it to the manifestations of qualities, linking the verse to the manifestations of qualities in the universe, and how that the qualities transforms the human world. Otherwise, I mean, including the bodily as well, the spiritual. But Brother Ali, please go ahead. Brother Ali, you're muted. We cannot hear you.
Yeah.
You muted yourself again.
Yeah. Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. It was my technical disability. So, how do we see that this world becomes a temporary paradise, perfect? This seems to be problems. When we look at them, when we look at what is going on, sometimes, very rarely though, but sometimes really something happens that we cannot understand. If we pay attention to it, whatever is created is giving me a light, nur, light. What does it mean? The beautiful spring gives me light. It means all my human feelings understand that only the absolute being can create it, and he is introducing himself to me as a merciful, compassionate owner. So I feel that this world is a paradise. Why? Absolute qualities of its creator is introducing himself to me, and my spirit, my feelings, receive them and say, that is what I need. Sometimes illness happens, or we call them disasters, happen. And we have to look at this matter not from bodily relationship. My body hurts and I feel pain, but that is bodily. But my spirit, if I see the light in the creation of these events that I don't like, and think, never forget that this is important. That's why I keep repeating it. Always I repeat this. The sense of dislike also is given to me by the same one who created me, who created my feelings, and who created this so-called disasters, illnesses, even death. I have to look at them from creation point of view, not my bodily relationship. From creation point of view, my body must die. That is how it was created, to demonstrate that my bodily existence is transient. So I cannot trust him. But my spiritual existence, my humanity, wants eternity. There is a contradiction. My humanity wants eternity. My body says we are transient. So it means it is an education for my spirit. I should understand I am not created to be a permanent resident of this world. That's why my body suffers from time to time, mostly enjoys, but occasionally suffers. I should say, what is the message in the way that I suffer? I suffer from illness, disaster, death at the end. These are all my bodily side. My body gets ill. My body gets sick. I feel the pain, but my body gets sick. But my feelings say, who can create this illness? Only the one who created my feelings. And my feelings that you shouldn't like it. Of course, I shouldn't like it. That's why I have to avoid from it. The reason I shouldn't think that I exist only in terms of body, it is transient, reminding me, and look for the permanent source of satisfaction. And permanent source of satisfaction can be read, can be received from the light that the universe transfers to me, demonstrates to me. My creator is the absolute infinite one. We have to understand this relationship. Everything in its creation is perfect, but the universe is created perfectly, well ordered, but ready to die, to receive death. That is, I am called in this way by paying attention to this kind of creation. This world is not the permanent residence of my feelings, my spirit, my reason. My reason doesn't accept that the things are transient and I don't like it. It shouldn't happen. Yes, it shouldn't. But this is a teaching. If I don't do a proper interpretation of the creation, I fail. Like if I don't study, I fail in learning. If I don't do the proper interpretation of creation, I fail in learning. That's why I get F. It means failure. You cannot. You didn't do your job, man. You came here to learn and you didn't learn. Pay attention. That is just an education, a means of education. The school administration doesn't give you for F for nothing, to teach me that what I have been doing is wrong. That is what we have to understand, that if we have a right position towards the universe and interpret it, try to understand it as it demonstrates really in a bright way, perfectly, the qualities of its creator, I will feel that my spirit will be in paradise, not my body. My body will be in the grave. I don't care, because my spirit is in paradise. So I believe my creator is absolute, so he knows what he is doing. He must give me another body which satisfies the expectations of my feelings. That's called paradise. That's why we can experience in temporary base the paradise here in this world. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Ali. Temporary paradise in this world. All right, any comments? Anyone would like to share anything? No, all right, good. I guess we should experience more and more of this spiritual temporary paradise, because we kind of get lost in the physical body, seemingly sort of happiness, we may think. And then that's where our suffering kind of goes into haywire. All right, so we can move on to The third example. The third example of the hundreds of his observations of the travelers, human beings' observations during the journey in this world. The traveler from the world who wanted to know his creator through the manifestations of his names and attributes. Turned to his mind and imagination and said, "Come, like the spirits and angels, we shall leave our bodies behind and ascend to the skies. We shall question the inhabitants of the heavens concerning our Creator." His spirit mounted his imagination, and his mind mounted his thought, and together they rose to the heavens. So the human mind, his reasoning, spirit, thoughts are all rising to the heavens in terms of these manifestations of the qualities that they're experiencing. Okay, you have something to say.
I'm wondering if this here imagination is just our creative thought, or is this something else? Like, is this something in the original language that is, you know, is it just? I don't know if this is the same idea of imagination as we normally understand it, or is it a faculty?
Yeah, faculty of imagination, I would think.
Okay, just like my own creative thought.
It's given, yes. The faculty is given, it's created. Just like my thoughts, I can divert them anywhere. Imagination also can go anywhere. But he is focusing on a particular area of imagination, and his thoughts are more focused on getting to know his creator. So well, we can come back to this unless somebody has any comment.
You know, I think it's just like imagination in the sense that we understand it, but here it's also being utilized with the mind and thought as well. So it's not like fantastical, you know, like there, I guess, kind of like the second example too, where like it's looking to the meaning in the existence of our neediness, but that's what the light of God or of the heavens and the earth kind of shed light on, right? So I think here, in a way, not utilizing your imagination for imagination's sake, but rather, you know, we can imagine ourselves literally ascending or going to Mars or something. So kind of, and there's a purpose and meaningfulness in that as well, depending on how we utilize it. And I think here,
because it says, you know, the spirit mounts the imagination, so it's something, not just delusion.
Right.
Or it shouldn't be.
I don't know what delusion is, but I mean, it's a psychological kind of term.
Yeah, like, you know, you can imagine something that doesn't exist at all, just through your power of imagination. So, but over here it has a, it's not something that you are making up, but something that actually exists.
you're like a structured sort of imagination, like looking to a sort of purpose, right? Not just imagining something is there while it's not, but rather kind of going there with my imagination, knowing I'm not physically there, but at the same time being able to, through that experience of imagination, trying to experience or see the qualities of my creator in that particular circumstance, I think is what I was saying.
So yeah, so in a particular direction he's headed. Like you said, the imagination can go wild as well and all over the place.
It's also different than the mind. So
yeah.
So in some way it functions differently than what the mind does.
Yeah, interesting. So, Brother Ali, is that your hand up or is that from before? I think it's from before, so I will ignore it.
Before.
Okay. Oh yeah, so I think he says it, whichever direction he looked. Okay, did I finish the other one? No. Okay, so his mind mounted his thought, and together they rose to the heavens. They took astronomy as their guide. Okay, so that's one way of looking at it, through, and looked with the view of the philosophy which does not heed religion, and the currents of those who have received your wrath, and those who have gone astray. He saw thousands of heavenly bodies and fiery stars, 1,000 times larger than the earth and traveling 100 times faster than a cannonball, speeding one within the other, unconscious, lifeless, and aimless. If by chance one of them had confused its way for a second, so all these heavenly bodies, planets, stars that are continuously in motion, so the view shows them, only looks at their bodily motion, doesn't see the balance, the harmony, the purpose in the existence of these things. So that's why there are sometimes they keep saying there's a cannon that is heading towards Earth, but it's missing. Thankfully, they got lucky that it's not going to destroy the Earth, or all these movies they make out of doomsday on Earth, the end of times. Something drastic happens, some calamity happens that destroys the whole Earth. So by chance, one of them had confused its way for a second, it would have collided with another unconscious globe in that boundless, empty, infinite world, causing utter confusion and chaos like doomsday. So whichever direction he looked, the traveler was filled with terror and bewilderment. He was sorry 1,000 times over he had ascended to the skies. His mind and imagination went utterly to pieces. They declared our duty is to see and point out fine truths. So the mind and imagination have a purpose, a duty to point out fine truths. We resign then from observing and understanding such infernally ugly and painful things. We do not, let's see, why is this not going? We do not want such a thing. Then suddenly, through the manifestation of God is the light of the heavens and the earth. Numerous names like subjugator of the sun and moon, and sustainer of all the worlds. Each rose like suns in the constellations of verses such as, and we have adorned the lower heavens with lamps. Just Quran section 67, verse 5. And do they not look at the heavens above them, how we have raised them and adorned them? Quran section 50, verse 6. And then he withdrew to the sky and formed it into 7 heavens. Quran section 2, verse 29. So describing how all the heavenly bodies are under a command, a control of the one who has made them for a particular purpose. As like the subjugator of the sun and the moon, He's the light. God is the light of the heavens and earth. So it brings the perspective into one's human life to see this view, to engage the imagination and the mind towards this purpose. So they filled all the heavens with light and with angels, transforming it into a huge mosque or military encampment. So the way these verses describe transforms it into a huge mosque or military encampment. How the light is all over the heavenly bodies as well, all over Rabbu Samawati wal Earth, Lord of the heavens and the earth. The traveler entered the current of those whom you have blessed. So that's how one enters the Sirat al-Mustaqim of those whom you have blessed, by engaging the human side to seeing the manifestations of the Lord of the universe. So the traveler was saved from that of those who have gone astray. Or the unbeliever state is like the depths of darkness in a vast, deep ocean. He saw a magnificent land, as beautiful and well ordered as paradise. No, that's another one. Page 608. We saw a magnificent land, as beautiful and well ordered as paradise. So the same theme here as well, how by engaging the mind and imagination or human faculties towards seeing the light, Nur Samawati wal Earth, light of the heavens and the earth, everything becomes like a friend, where it smiles and shines at you like as a paradise, becomes beautiful. Otherwise, it's seen as something dangerous, as an enemy. Without this light of the heavens and the earth, the whole universe becomes the enemy. Observing that on all sides its inhabitants were making known the all-glorious Creator, the value of his mind and imagination. The value of his mind and imagination was increased 1,000-fold, and their duties advanced likewise. We're in the middle of page 608. Just after the verse, Alhamdulillah. So the value of his mind and imagination was increased 1,000-fold by the light, and their duties advanced likewise. So what their purpose in existence is. Otherwise, we use our minds or imaginations or thoughts on many things that may be worthless in life. What's the point of learning a lot of information and then living in this world with all that information and not having assimilated or thought about or absorbed all that information or practiced it? So referring to the risale-i Nur, the other observations of the traveler through the universe, which are comparable with these three examples out of hundreds, together with knowledge of the necessarily existent one through the manifestations of his names. Here we suffice with these brief indications and cut a long story short. Now, like that traveler through the world, we shall try to know the creator of the universe through the works and manifestations of only 3 of his sacred 7 attributes: knowledge, will, and power.
Most obvious ones. Most obvious ones that we can observe.
Yeah,
Is knowledge, will, and power.
all this. The most obvious one, knowledge, will, and power. When we look at the existence of things or the creational side of the universe. For details, we refer you to the risale-i Nur. So the following piece in Arabic is the sum and substance of the Arabic Hifz al-Nuri. Is that one of his books? Page 51, footnote 78. Which I constantly recite reflectively. It expounds 3 of the 33 degrees of the phrase, God is most great. Allahu Akbar. This is followed by a sort of translation of the Arabic piece, consisting of brief indications, which opens up the way to acquiring belief in divine knowledge, will, and power. Opens up the way to acquiring belief in divine knowledge, will, and power at the degree of the vision of certainty, through pointing out their manifestations in the universe, a subject which greatly preoccupied the scholars of theology and of the tenets of wow, doesn't work. Okay, there we go. That is kind of all right. Fix and type. I'm sorry, 1 second. I think this needs a reboot. Wow. Yeah, technicals. Your pad kind of is not working properly.
Sorry?
Your pad kind of is not working.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, now. Finally, 609 page. Through pointing out, so belief was the word before that. Through pointing out the manifestations of knowledge, will, and power, the following indications thus open up the way to complete belief at the degree of knowledge of certainty in the necessarily existent one's existence and unity, and to the affirmation of that belief. So it's looking at the degree of knowledge of certainty in the necessarily existent one's existence and unity, and to the affirmation of that belief. That's one level of confirming. So in the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate, say praise be to God who begets no son and has no partner in his dominion, nor needs he any to protect him from humiliation. Yes, magnify him for his greatness and glory. Quran chapter, section 17, verse 111. Glorify and magnify him for his greatness and glory. God is greater than everything in respect of power and knowledge. For he is knowing of all things with all-encompassing knowledge necessary to his essence. It's referring to the verse, and God's is the highest similitude, like all-encompassing light is necessary to the sun. So whatever the manifestations of power and knowledge that we observe, God is greater than that. And he's knowing of all things, all-encompassing knowledge necessary to his essence. So it's part of his essence. I mean, I can conclude that. All these knowledge, will, and power. That's how I can at least describe the necessary being.
That was important. That is how we can describe the necessary being.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you cannot describe the necessary being only through seeing that his qualities are infinite, absolute.
Mhm.
So through them, we can describe the creator's essence. It means the one who must have absolute qualities of power, knowledge, will, wisdom, etc.
Mhm. Nothing can be hidden from his knowledge because of the mystery of its presence and witnessing and all-encompassing luminosity. So the presence of all the light and witnessing and encompassing luminosity. Existence necessitates universality, and the light of knowledge encompasses all the world of existence. Light of knowledge encompasses all the world of existence. So the world of existence shows that there is filled with, that there's some knowledge that is shows to me as a being manifested. Yes, the balanced order and regular balances and general purposeful wisdom and all embracing particular favors and the well-ordered decrees and fruitful determining and specified appointed hours of death and the regular sustenance and the wise skills and the adorned solicitude and the utterly perfect order, harmony, arrangement, proficiency and balance, and absolute distinction with absolute ease all point to the all-encompassing knowledge of the one all-knowing, of the unseen. Should he not know, he that created? And he is the one who understands the finest mysteries and is well acquainted with them. Quran section 67, verse 14. So the one who creates, should he not know? And he is the one who understands the finest mysteries and is well acquainted with them.
This is the verse.
Right.
The above statement
It's
is
from his book, I think.
from his writing. Not the verse is only the last sentence we read there. We read.
So from his writing also, it shows how I mean, he broke it down very well. The balanced order, regular balance is general purpose wisdom, which we observe in the universe. Where we take it for granted. We don't see that it's deliberately being there, done there.
So
Favors, particular favors. We don't see things happening to us as favors, whatever happens.
we should say, have you noticed the sentence or end of the sentence? The second sentence of the paragraph. It says existence necessitates universality. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Existence necessitates universality, but existence is limited, isn't it?
Yes.
How does it necessitate the universality?
Existence is what again?
Existence is limited. Universe is limited.
Okay. Isn't
And
it bodily
how
wise?
does it-
But
How does it necessitate
But
universality?
isn't it bodily wise limited? Only the physical aspect is limited of the existence, but the other quality aspects, they exist as well. They should not.
Quality, I mean, the quality is manifested in them. Continues to change, happens at the same time. Three elements continues to change, happens at the same time, and each quality manifests in each being the same at the same time.
The same qualities
Same
manifest.
quality. Absolute power here, absolute power necessitates in another creation, absolute power necessitates in another creation. It means this absolute power is manifesting at the same time and continuously the manifestation type changes, because what is created as a result of manifestation of these qualities, they change slowly. It means my source has no limit. That is why existence of the universe, everything within the universe, necessitates that the source of existence must be manifesting universally and infinitely.
I see.
So people say, how God created the universe is since He is omnipotent, almighty, why He created the universe limited then? If God is the absolutely permanent one, no beginning, no end, but the universe has beginning and end. As you said, the body of the universe is limited, must be limited, created, and needs to be created, must be limited, cannot be infinite. By definition, you don't see the end of the universe.
Right.
And beginning and the end of the universe, and also space-wise, spatially, also you don't have to see.
Right.
In its nature of existence, is necessitates that it must be limited, created, needs to be created, limited. In every aspect of it in existence, that my source, all the qualities manifesting in me, must be infinite. That is why people sometimes say that they are puzzled. How an absolute being, infinite being, creates a limited thing.
Right.
So how can we know that He's absolute? Because the universe is limited. Apparently, the question is correct, but perspective is wrong. They look at the body, not what is manifested in the body, in the creation of the body. That's what the author said, and not the author didn't say the universe necessitates universality, to emphasize the importance of existence necessitates universality. It means existence of every being in this universe, including all of them, but each being as well.
Yeah, it changes the perspective when you add existence necessitates.
Looking at the universe, when we look at the universe, what we see at first, body. Intellectually, you look at the universe, light is coming. Light means
Meaning,
demonstrating the qualities of its artist. Otherwise, you see that a frame of art piece is limited. But you can see that the artist can do more. But it is human-made. It's example about human-made. But in the universe, what does it say? My source, the qualities in me tells me my qualities in the creation. My source must be absolute. Otherwise, I can't be at the same time changing. The universe is in perfect order, perfect balance, beautiful, and everywhere we see the same qualities of the artist. And continuously changing. That is very important. If someone doesn't understand that the universe is continuously subject to change, if they see the universe is static, then they cannot understand the universality of the creator. Universality means absoluteness, infiniteness of the creator. So first we have to pay attention that universe exists and continues to change. Continuously changing position, no
static, yeah.
Not step by step change, no, continuously change. No break.
Okay. That's incredible, continuously.
Can we have a question? So I experience and I observe the constant change. I am a part of it as well. And I can expand, say, since I experience and witness that within myself and within my immediate environment, I can expand it to the rest of the universe as well. Within my observations, like my life as I know it here is limited as well. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like my observation of the qualities is always limited to what I can see within the universe. So I can say it's, there's like a really big number of things that are constantly undergoing change, constantly being constantly undergoing change within an orderly fashion at every single moment. But to go from like a really big number to infinity, is that not a jump?
It is not a very big number to infinity. That's mathematical way of speaking it. Because they think of everything in terms of this universe, but they don't look at the qualities manifested in it. They look at the countable side of the universe, so body side of the universe. So that is mathematical infinity doesn't work here. We are talking really absolute infinity here. Why? Your question is, how can we come to this conclusion? Because at the end, we are experiencing limited. First of all, continuous change, take in mind, and also order never becomes disorder. Although some conditioned mind people say this order came out of chaos, but this chaos never comes disorder. Death is not a disorder. Death is separation. Death is changing, not becoming a disorder. For example, here it is, you can, the owner of the computer, laptop, just makes it, the creator makes it not exist anymore as a disorder, as the universe. That is the death when it doesn't come, it doesn't work anymore. That is the death of the computer. So everything, that's what we pay attention. Everything manifesting at the same time, same quality. And continuously changing like this, but the quality is never changed. Look, yeah, we have to understand, this is not only your question. Many people are asking this question and trying to. There is this man, Pope Zeros, this very famous man who argues with God against God's existence. So he brings this kind of questions. Can God create a big mountain bigger than himself or something like that? Or can God create heavier than he cannot lift? If you say he can, so then he is smaller than what he has created. If you said no, he cannot, oh, it means he's not really absolutely powerful or very logical. But it thinks of still in terms of numbers, bodily side. But what we are talking, the quality is manifested in it. At the same time, everywhere, continuously changing, the qualities never change, it is quality. Always, everything is perfectly arranged, taken care of. Nothing is singled out and neglected. No hesitation, continuous. This says, don't think of the source of existence in terms of this countable side of the universe. Now, for example, the way you put it and the way those people put it in this kind of questions, try to understand this, the creator as independent from the universe, and someone is there. Independent of the universe means they don't really see what is manifested in the universe. They speak, for example, if God can create bigger mountain than himself, heavier than he cannot lift up. Look, still he is thinking in terms of comparison between this big mountain and huge mountain bigger than the universe. Something. Never looks at the qualities. Still looks at the body. As if somebody says, looking at your body, you are limited. Your body is limited. But your imagination goes far beyond into the universe, and that is what you are. With your imagination, with your thinking, with your hopes, with your fears. But if somebody says your body, you are your body, then your existence is what? Limited to the limitations of your body. That's it. Well, it is false reasoning. We don't compare the creator to the universe. We look at the transient side of the universe, dependent side of the universe. Qualities cannot be coming from the matter side of the universe. And we conclude from transients, but continuously changing. Who is changing this transient world? Now, and also everything is taken care of at the same time. At the same time, with no mistake.
So at the same time, same qualities, but can we say with different degrees?
Yeah, same qualities are manifesting at the same time, but the material side is changing.
Right, but different degrees that qualities manifest.
It means the qualities belong to a being who must have nothing to do with the nature of the body of the universe. That is why you must, a human being must come to the conclusion that the source of existence cannot have anything to do with the nature of this material body of the universe. By definition, even if someone doesn't understand, by definition, if the source of the existence of this universe must be nothing to the material side of the universe, but he is the source of the existence of the material side of the universe, he must have a different nature of existence. So I cannot really think of this source in terms of any term of this universe. It means bigger, smaller, something like that. Countability. No, it is uncountable. How do you say countable?
Countless.
Yeah.
I understand. One more follow-up question I will not totally like a sub-branch. So along lines of what Austin was also saying, I understand what you're saying, which is that, you know, when I look at the qualities, I necessitate that they cannot be from that thing that I observe it manifesting from. So they must be from a source that is not of the nature of that universe, and the universe itself is limited. So then the sub question is then the qualities that I witness come in degrees as well. For example, I always witness the quality of existence and everything. However, perhaps the quality of beauty from my perspective, you know, in the springtime, I'm able to perhaps see it more. So it seems like to me, like it's at a higher degree versus maybe perhaps a certain quality might not be as easily detectable in my experience at another time.
That is why we see that in the universe, one thing is created, let's say in the perfect way, and there is no other example. But infinite or almost uncountable for human being. Number of things are created and they have the same qualities. So that I can say, look, the qualities are manifesting at the same time in each being in a different way. Why is it that, why they are manifested form is different?
Yeah.
Creates simple, creates spring, creates summer, creates winter, it's form. Why? Continuously changing, saying that you cannot put any limit to. You cannot put any limit to, continuously renew. How many animals are presented, created? How many plants are created? How many stars are created? So it is created, and also funny, not funny, really interesting. It is created in a way that we cannot count. As the Quran says, La tuhsuha, you cannot count, you cannot count. It means not infinite, but you are not able to count and saying that this is the last number I found. That is understood what is really created. Impossible. You know, the way the universe is created is circular. Circular. Yeah, it's the word.
Yes.
Cyclical.
Sorry?
Cyclical.
Cyclical and circular. Circular.
Spherical.
Spherical.
Sorry?
Spherical. That's spherical.
Spherical?
Like a sphere.
Spherical?
Sphere. S-P-H-E-R-E, sphere.
Sphere.
Spherical.
Sphere means, but it does sphere means not straight, but turning.
Mhm.
For example, take a wheel. Take a wheel. Does it come to an end, turning? No. You can continue. I can't get it. It turns. Universe is created in this way. So the human beings cannot get to the end. So that you say, come on, you know, the Quran says the eyes get tired. The eyes get tired. You go look and go look and look and look and look and look. Oh man, impossible to get to them. These are all the opportunities given to us to understand that really the source must be not like the creator, countable universe, the body of the universe, but the qualities are infinite. I cannot get to the end. Circular. Notice that nothing is square in the universe or rectangular, triangular, rectangular, no, or sectangular, something. Is there anything? No, 8 dimensions.
Octa, yeah.
Huh?
Or you mean just angular?
Octagon or something.
Yeah, well, I
That's
don't know
eight
the
sides,
word.
yeah.
So when I read it, I understand, but I cannot pronounce it. But all circular,
Mhm.
spherical, and spherical, yeah,
Mhm.
like this. So you go. Yeah, you know, some people describe universe. If you go from here to end, you will reach the end. Actually, this relativity theory in physics
Mhm.
explain this matter perfectly. You cannot draw a straight line.
It's curved.
Yeah,
It's curved.
always. You think I drew its curve. The airplane, ask the pilots in airplane, are you going like this? Yeah, downwards? No, I'm going straight. It goes straight. But at the end, continue, he finds himself in the same point, came back.
Interesting.
But I went straight there. The universe is like this, must be like this. That is why, as I go, let's say, very, very extremely, unimaginably hard rocket, send it, goes and goes, circle. Never end. It is impossible. The nature says you cannot get to the end of the manifestation of the qualities of the creator in bodily matters. It means the eyes get tired. My God, what was the word? Beautiful. I say at the beginning of Mulk.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Looking twice.
Sorry?
Taking
Yeah.
a look twice.
Yeah. Here it is.
Basar or something.
ثم ارجع البصر كرتين ينقلب إليك البصر خاسئا وهو خسير. I cannot go further because goes and goes further. Not because it is too big. Yes, it is too big. Yes, it is too big. But never, even if, you know, ما ترى في الخدود ثم ارجع البصر كرتين. Look twice, again and again,
Right.
again and again. Continue. ينقلب إليك البصر, the eye, so looking at the not intellectual ideas. This
Physical.
yeah, looking at the material side, goes, turns back
Mhm.
to itself. خاسئا وهو حسير. خاسئا really nowhere, man. Hasir, I'm tired of this, not this. So we die, but now I get to the end.
Oh.
The nature of the universe is so miraculous. So that human beings will be left with no excuse to say that the creator must have a limited power. Why? Because the creation looks like limited. We will have no evidence for it. We will have no experience for it. That is why we have to understand. I am insisting on this point, but because of this historical quarrel in Islamic theology, belief is not mind. Mind is, especially Sufi tradition emphasizes on it. Mind is nothing. Mind is just how do you say, cannot talk out or in Turkish.
Handicapped. Handicapped.
No. Cannot walk when.
Crippled.
Yeah, crippled. Crippled.
No, not crippled. No. There's another word. It means they cannot walk properly straight.
Walking with a limp.
Oh, man.
We understand.
One-legged, I guess.
No. That is the phrase is important for, I don't know how to search. Important for to understand Sufi language. Mind cannot walk straight because like the limping or but can you check Topa? Turkish. Lamp or something like, if I'm not mistaken.
It's in crippled, lame.
Lame. It's very famous. I was looking for lame. So mind is lame. Mind. So it cannot really walk and reason properly. This discourse invaded the minds of the people and also irritate the theologians, saying that, what do you mean? Should I not mind at all? Which are that reason? I can find the truth by reasoning. Come on, another extreme. One of them is leaves the mind, the other one depends on mind only. That is why what I'm going to say looks like unacceptable. Belief is the result of rational reasoning.
It's unpopular opinion.
Sorry?
It's an unpopular opinion
Yeah.
at the
The
moment.
people say, no, it takes part in the mind, in the heart. Yeah. Heart is where it receives confirmation and settles down. That is what I was looking at. Without the conclusion of the mind, Iman, belief cannot happen. I'm convinced by myself. But some people, common people, they cannot reason, but they feel that there must be something, there must be something. That is enough for them. Yes, there must be something. But real confirmed belief, certainty, not there must be something. Certainty, I am sure there must be, and my human side confirms it. My intelligence has no trouble with it. But common people do not take intelligence into account at all. So they work directly with heart, feelings, and feelings said there must be something. Be careful, there must be something. This something created the universe, and this is called Allah. That's enough for them. But for this century, who is this something? It needs, the universe must be the production of an absolute being, infinite being, whose essence is incomprehensible, but I understand it must be incomprehensible. So confirming the God's infiniteness, absoluteness, that needs reasoning. So never offer this kind of belief to a common people. Don't question. They don't question. Belief matters. They take it for granted because they feel it is the right way. That is enough for them. Their cup is like a coffee cup. And that is food. That is what I have to today in one of the classes I mentioned. I have to bear in mind that these people has a cup, tea cup or coffee cup, all right? A cup. And they go to the ocean, fill it. Be careful, That is full. That is full. Another even important matter for all of us, all of you, I have known my parents, right? So all of you, be careful. But I go to the mosque, and I never talk like this to the people there at all. It would be wrong. It is full, perfect. The cup is full. He fulfilled his duty 100%. But what is important for us to notice, you cannot add anything to it.
Not a single drop.
Even single drop. Well, I don't know which class I mentioned this. It
Overflows.
sorry,
Overflows. Yeah.
It says, I don't need it. I don't need it. Those famous story, the famous story that a girl was, a woman was taught that there is a great scholar in, I don't know, Baghdad or in a big city. What does it say? It says, I have 100 or 500 evidence for God's existence. And women said, this common people, women, this is description of the common people, not 21st century generation, doesn't work. No, this person must have 100 doubts. He is trying to answer his doubts. I have no doubt. I don't need. Correct. His cup is full. He doesn't get any more.
Mhm.
But on the other hand, now this reasoning generation, they cannot accept anything at all. But they know everything. They are aware of everything. They are getting all the information from everywhere. Information doesn't acknowledge the boundaries, country bound. And their cup is 1,000 times larger than this common people's coffee cup. And let alone food, they have no water. We have to be very careful. Whom we are addressing, what we are bringing. If you speak to common people, not accustomed with reasoning, but they reason in worldly world. When it comes to belief matters, they, for example, very intelligent man makes robot. All right? Ask him about religious matters. I don't know, that is what scholars say. He became, in religious matters, himself a robot. Although he's so intelligent to make a robot, but in religious matters, he is a robot, or she is a robot. That is the age. We must change, we must change, we must change. No way we can, to survive, to help this Allah's religion spread if we don't change it. No, impossible. Nurses is a very interesting, maybe you may know it. Eski hal muhal, ya yeni hal, ya ismihla. Maybe you may not understand the name. No. The past experience of the scholars, no way to go back anymore. The old way is impossible to go back. It means the old information, bring from the old information that the great scholars were, they were great in their time. May Allah be pleased with all of them. You cannot bring it back. You have to take a new method of presenting the truth of Islam, or you will be completely failed. That's what the Nursi said. 100 years ago, he said.
Wow. It's like Imam Ali saying about the children, next generation. You cannot teach them. Yeah.
No, go. You don't ask your question. You cannot ask your question. Don't use tablet. I'm not going to let you use internet. Impossible. not this age, maybe this age, maybe this age, and the child is filling with complexes. Yep. Complexes.
There's a comment. Suhail says it's the
Yeah, let me complete.
Sure, yeah.
Then I will stop. Complexes, as soon as he gains his freedom, out of religion. Completely different world. It becomes really dizzy. And he said, I cannot understand anything. I don't know where everybody is saying something. I am agnostic, if not atheist. No other way that this person will be a believer. We have to be realistic. We have to be realistic. There is no way to see it ourselves. By being here, we are 4 people here. Yeah. 4 people between ourselves. If I decide the words, everybody will say, oh yeah, Allah says so, the Quran says so. Yeah. We agree. The word, we are 4 people. There are 400 million people out there don't agree with us. We have to bear in mind that we are a small island in the ocean. Ocean is boiling. We are just entertaining in our comfort zone. Say, Alhamdulillah, we are Muslims, we are chosen ummah. Yeah. That was a number. As the Jews, we are chosen. God's children. What is the difference? We blame children. We blame and laugh at them. Jews said we are the children of God chosen. He said, they are so arrogant. The Muslims say the same thing. Okay, finish. So let's read what is.
Suhail, what is your comment on the greatest mystery of what?
Sorry?
He says it's the greatest mystery I've never understood. The greatest mystery I have never understood.
Which one?
I don't know at what point he said because I was listening to you also. Go ahead, Suhail.
No, it was just about Ali Memmer's robot anecdote about how people who are intelligent become unintelligent when it comes to religion or Islam or belief.
This is what the religion is presented to him. He is bound to be a robot and thinking that he is a believer. I don't know whether he is not none of my business. But I believe it means really I am the slave of my whatever the teacher, master, whatever say. But I don't pass judgment about this person, but this methodology never will work. Forget about it.
All right, I think we can.
Inshallah, we will wake up.
Inshallah.
Especially the intelligence people, especially the leaders, Muslim leaders, those, especially the public speakers. I have never seen any yet speaking on a rational base, establishing what good. This author, do you know that? Do you notice that risale-i is not discovered yet, even by their readers? So this is another mysterious way. Quran is. Have you seen any tafsir reads the Quran from Billy's perspective?
I don't think so.
No. No.
Well, I was just going to say that I think the reason why, at least not seen here or anywhere really, is that many reasons. One, to ask people to think for themselves seems to be difficult. And then it's more difficult to do that and then have from a speaker or some public speaker perspective, have a following or people to know you, because to some extent, if you're just giving them information and they become dependent on you, then you become sort of their sort of figurative leader, or rather than trying to give people the ability or teach them the ability to reason or critically think for themselves. So it's and I think people do that because at least from what I heard is like, oh, you don't want to give people the ability to reason because maybe then they'll come to doubt Islam. And I mean, that's already happened, whether they want it or not, that's already happening. So they can't stop it or prevent it from happening.
Yes, exactly. What I see in Jewish tradition, two elements are mixed with each other. We have to be very careful about this kind of analysis. They have two elements mixed with each other. Race is chosen. Religion is only for Jews, these chosen people. That's why they don't convert anybody. They don't try to convert anyone. Even somebody says, I want to convert to Judaism. They say, sure, go and think about it, but you must know, those people are not satisfied with the New Testament. So they go to the origin Old Testament. They say there must be something here because there is some belief methods discussed there. In New Testament, no, nothing is discussed as they are available now. 4 Gospels, canonical Gospels. They are not. They don't mention about belief matters. There are some moral, ethical matters are discussed. So when they go to Genesis, they found some belief matters they've discussed, and also especially Psalms, were beautiful description of God's qualities there. So they feel that they must be the follower of Old Testament. They must become Jews. Really, they close their doors. Even if they say, insist, I am a Jew, whatever you do. Then, okay, that's it, you are Jew. We accept that, but never see them as Jews. Go and see them. Speak to Jews, converted Jews. You know why? Because there is no racial connection. So as a result, Suhaili, be careful here, everybody, but I don't know who is there. Let me see what. One of them is Suhail. The other one is our friend. Alhamdulillah, she's always there. Alhamdulillah. So they deny Judaism. Yep. They deny God. Have you seen the atheists? Very famous. But they never deny their racial connection. That's why if a Jew or coming from this race denies the religion, still this person is proud of being belong to chosen people.
I mean, that's the argument for the political argument for the country of Israel.
Yeah. So Israel is a chosen people's country, not Jewish state. Now, what is happening in the Muslim world? If a person denies the Quran, denies the existence of God, he has nothing to do with Islam. Why? There is no racial connection. Now, what some people, without realizing, trying to invent, like Jewish tradition, a national identity for Muslims, which has some sort of community connection. Even if you don't believe in God, even if you don't believe in the Quran, you are a member of your father and mother, a member of Muslim community. Try to inject this because they want to keep them in the circle. This is Judaism. So we have to be very careful not to turn Islam into Judaism.
Chosen people.
Sorry?
Into chosen people.
Chosen people. That's why when we use that, you are selected, actually not
Ummah.
selected. taken out of the people as an ummah, which is the example, chosen ummah, let's call it. But God is giving the news. Not race is giving the news, not community is giving the news. As soon as you deny religion, you are out of community. This false image is tried to be created, if you like, or emerged in the society so that the Muslims' numbers should not be reduced. Because we are proud of converts, we are blind to those people who go out of religion. Convert is, let's say, 1%. The people who are leaving Islam is 20%. We said that we are growing. Yeah, but because new people are coming, how many people are losing? Go and look at what's going on in the community. Oh, the community number reduced 20%. And we have to be careful. We have to be careful. I'm not pessimist, but this is our reality. We have to change our teaching of religion. Quran. Rationality must come first. Conviction in reason. Reasoning must come first. And then, okay, take this conclusion to the consultation of your senses and say whether they are happy or not. It means universe confirms, let alone let your spirit, your spiritual side will confirm or not. When you also confirm within the feelings, which is impossible not to confirm, who doesn't like infinite happiness? Who doesn't like eternal happiness? That is we, human beings. It will just welcome it. That's it. And settles down there. Belief doesn't settle down in mind. I may be neglectful. I may encounter another one. That's why they don't trust reasoning and saying that. So take it to your humanity. That is why if someone experiences a sort of belief in God in their life, I'm in contact with some people like this. I have personal meetings with them. Now, they cannot smile, they cannot laugh, they are in their room, only work, they go and come back, they cannot even communicate with their family members. Isolated. Why? Despair. No hope. My feelings is empty. One of them said, if God exists, I am sure, because I don't deliberately deny it. I'm not convinced about what the Quran, how the Quran produced to me. I can read his email. He says, he will get me back to his to believing in him. Still, he hopes God to take him back because feelings are empty, meaningless. Life, existence is all meaningless. That's why they cannot really. They are all angry people, critical people, frowning, not happy to, not enjoying their life. If they don't have to work, they wouldn't even work and become schizophrenic within themselves. Why? They experience this beauty, but now, because it wasn't based on reasoning, now when they start using their reasoning, they fall into meaninglessness and said that it doesn't make sense to me. How can I really confirm it? Am I stupid to follow it? But they found themselves out of their previous experience, so they know that I was happy, but I am not happy. They all say this. all those people believe, and then because lots of things are going on in the Muslim world, they're counter-arguing, critical, criticizing Quranic, the Quran's being the word of God, and Hadith narrations especially not being reliable, lots of things, yeah. You can argue in many ways. And then they say, we are cheated so far. Everything must be good. No, it's not perfect. Look at what did I think? Look at it from this way. What did they say? Of course, for example, the biggest mistake what they do. Not as a believer, I'm going to read the Quran. What does it mean? Reducing it and to add men's word. When you read the Quran as a men's word, not contrasting it with the speech of the creator of the universe, it becomes meaningless. Why? If you start a primary school student listening to the lecture of the professor in a subject, you listen to him, oh, this man is talking trash. Isn't it? Why? Your perspective changed. But you have to listen to the professor. Sir, where are you? Where are you speaking now? I'm lecturing the final student of college students. Yeah, college final students, final year students. When I reach you there, I will listen to you. What does it mean? I have to, not necessarily that I have to wait and educate myself. No, that wasn't just an example. The Quran says, I am the speech of the, that is what the Muslim people, don't speak this language, that kills me. I am the word of God. No. Quran says, God is the Rabbul Alamin. So we have to say, Quran is the speech word of the owner, the creator of this world. So how are you going to be convinced about the truthfulness of the Quran? Only by comparing with the universe. We have to understand this. Okay, you do some research. Have you ever seen any commentary, any tafsir, explanation on the Quran? Studies the Quran next to taking the evidence from the universe and understands the verses of the Quran. Show me one tafsir. It means eski hal muha. We cannot go back anymore. We have to understand. And alhamdulillah, there is a guide Allah provided for the century. What we have been reading, evidence from the universe, confirming what the Quran says. This word can only be the speech of the creator of the universe, not a man. Because complementing each other. We have to do that, and a tafsir must be written with this consciousness. Inshallah. And Al-Nursi says this himself. He wrote the Isharatul Ijaz, the commentary example, sample actually, not example, sample of commentary on the Quran. Somebody must continue and complete it from among the students of risale-i. It means following the same method. Following the same method. If you don't have the same method, studying the Quran and the universe together, you become all, you write a book, tafsir, on literary value of the Quran only, not Iman matters proved through the Quran. So we have to be very careful. Another subject today, I don't know whether you were there or not. The class we had discussing here just previous to it, were you there?
I caught the second high.
Sorry?
Second high.
Yeah. Towards the end, I said, because here also, preoccupied the last line in the page 6 or 8. I think we finished, huh? We finished the section.
I know.
Okay, after the prayer, we finished. Yeah, we can forget now. it says, last line, it says,
Mhm.
division of certainty through pointing out, look at this one, pointing out their manifestations in the universe, a subject which greatly preoccupied the scholars of theology and of the tenets of belief. Yeah, this scholars of theology, I underlined it, and I said it is not the place here to discuss, but now it is where to discuss. Theology, classical theology, especially those people who are really studying to understand what is going on in the Muslim literature or the heritage or legacy. So we have to be careful. Theology reasons, comes to a conclusion and justifies the conclusion by giving a reference to most the ayah, the verses of the Quran, rarely to the hadith narrations, because everybody argues more or less. Some of them are correct, some of them are just biased criticism of hadith narrations, but most of them are correct. There are lots of unacceptable things narrated from hadith. Impossible to that the Prophet will say this. Impossible. But it is elevating the Prophet's station. Now, this is just Muslim zealousy. So we have to be very careful about it. That's why they don't give much. You must have noticed that reference to hadith. But yeah. The theology books are full of lies. Why? To justify their rational conclusion. What we learn from the risale-i, just the opposite. Nursi looks at the verse and says how it is really presenting and making it rationally acceptable. Belief matters, not fiqh matters. We have to be careful. Fiqh matters related to historical context of the Prophet. You cannot take it out. According to those conditions, they did this. Now, Abu Hanifa said, okay, bring it to my life now and make qiyas analogy and say that if in these conditions, the Prophet practiced in this way, in my conditions, on the same line, I have to put it. That is called analogy. Yeah, logical analogy, isn't it? So they call it something, a technical word, do you remember? Anyway, there's a technical word for it. That's Abu Hanifa. That's why those people, was very bigot, literalists, hate Abu Hanifa. Even some of them said it's kafir. Have you heard this? Yeah, they said this. So, because rationality came into religion, no, we follow religion, whatever Allah said. Just really empty talk. Fiqh matters are aside. Belief matters, which consists of what? 96.5% of the Quran. That is almost the exact number. 96.5% of the Quran. Belief matters, even the moral matters are supported by belief matters. Looks at it, Nursi, how the Quran describes it, presents it, but careful reading, not getting into stories. The way the method is followed in the Quran, reasoning method. And then takes the evidence from the universe. The Quran always refers in these matters to the universe. Angels, for example, how they are presented to us in the Quran. Right? They represent the tasbihat of the things in the world. Look, qaida. Look at it. Everything makes the glorification. It means announces this, declares the qualities of its maker in it. That's the angelic side of the matter. Nursi says, okay, this is the only way to talk about angels. Believe in angels. So the difference is, no, subject is the same subject, but the method followed No, the same subject is equal to theology, Islamic theology, right? But the way it is presented just contradictory to each other. One of them, reason goes back, and the Quranic evidence is used to support the conclusion of the reasoning. Nursi says, Quran goes in the front, my reasoning follows it. That is that, to me, 100% contradicting with the wisdom heritage, methodologically, that is called revolution in Islamic thinking. Muhammad Iqbal, you know that, wrote this reconstruction of Islam. He tried this.
When I read it recently, maybe 1 year ago, when I read it, I noticed that it was left incomplete.
Sorry?
That he tried, but the thought was left incomplete.
Yeah.
And then I looked at this and I said, this looked like a completion of what he started.
But yeah, Iqbal felt this. I feel that. You know, I love one thing I mentioned once years ago, maybe you may remember. I really love Iqbal saying that Islam is the religion of La ilaha. That's it. You start from La ilaha, start from universe. Why? Quran starts from La ilaha. For example, yeah. What was the Quran verse? It says, those people who are created need those things who need to be created, they themselves are created. How can they be created? How can they be created? What was the word? It's very famous. Suhail, you can find it if you are here. I think he's here, yeah. You can find it. And another one is in Ibrahim's story it is told. أتعبدون من دون الله لا يخلقون شيئا وهم يخلقون. I found it. Yeah. أتعبدون من دون الله. Are you worshipping from the creator? من دون الله, apart from God, it is Rabbul Alamin. Never forget. Allah is Rabbul Alamin. Alhamdulillah, Allah, Rabbul Alamin. Equal. So, to me, we should not talk about Allah. We should say Rabbul Alamin. The owner, the creator of the whole universe. So, are you worshipping? I mean, seeing that the creation is coming from there, which is apart from the creator of the whole universe, nothing to do with the nature of the universe. It means لا يخلقون شيئا وهم يخلقون. They cannot create anything. Don't be creative, man. They are created. They need to be created. They cannot exist themselves. They have no quality of themselves. Look at this Quran. It's so reasonable. Shows me the way. How can I put or present the belief? Nursi follows this way. That is why La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah. All Nursi's arguments is based on this. But after coming to the conclusion, he speaks to the believers now as if they not as if really. They believe in God now. Okay, if you believe in God, so that you have to worship, you have to obey, you have to follow his way of life for you, then continues. Okay, maybe this one. Suhail sent this. وَالَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِهِ لَا يَخْلُقُونَ شَيْئًا وَهُمْ يُخْلَقُونَ. Another verse. That is another verse. I mean, This is also وَالَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ, those people who ask for, it means expect the creation from them. يدعون, making dua, prayer. They say, but invoke. Okay, Sahih International said invoke. Yeah, invoke, but invoke not only praying. Expecting to create something on the min dunillah, apart from God, apart from the creator of the universe. Look, these people are not really writing in English and not speaking to human beings. They say those they invoke, they invoke other than Allah. Why Allah? Muslim God. I don't know what they call it, Allah something. They don't think of it in terms of the creator of the universe, Rabbul Alam. Why do you write in English and write in English? People that are interested in Islam, who speak in English, have nothing to do with the Muslim background. What is this stupidity? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Bigoted. So, and they create nothing, and they themselves are created. Why? Because they cannot create themselves. You look at them, investigate. So Nursi keeps saying that, look, do they have the knowledge? Do they have, the Quran also says. Exactly, the Quran gives a simple example. يبصرون به أم لهم أرجل يمشون به أم لهم أيد يبطشون به أم لهم أعين يبصرون به أم لهم آذان يسمعون به. It's a beautiful argument. Do they have legs to walk? It means qualities. Hand to walk, it is speaking to general public. Yeah, it means ability to do anything. Call your old universe to makiduni fala tunzirun. Call all the universe and give me a trap. It means any counter argument that the universe has some sort of qualities that they can act on their own will, and then say, okay, we challenge you now. Otherwise, don't wait. Don't wait. Let say, okay, this is our argument, and go and study and come up with a counter argument. No, immediately I'm ready to give you the answer. ثم كيدوني with a trap. It means make my argument fall into a trap. It means failure. Come on, bring. That is what Quran challenges comfortably. We keep saying, don't invoke other than Allah. Everybody says, but they don't believe in God. They believe in Allah. I don't know what they mean. That's why I'm sensitive, really. Although Muslims are so sensitive, when I say God, they turn almost purple. You know that. You experienced it. God, this man is as if we don't believe in Allah. That is the position of Muslim world. We have to take a straight path, and we shouldn't be disappointed. Even the prophets, look at the stories of the prophet. Which prophet came to a believing people? Which prophet had two followers when they started their mission? Which one? Show me one example in the Quran. From zero, alone. Stand up in this community alone. That is why we have to be ready. I'm ready to stand up by myself. How? Not challenge everyone. Start saying, Come, my friend, come. Let's have a dinner. What do you think you are? Yeah? That's it. Come on, man. Let's talk here. What the life is full of trouble, isn't it? Oh yeah. Okay. How about the universe? What do you think? Do you like fresh morning? Do you like spring? Wow. Where did you get this feeling? Slowly, slowly, slowly. Don't mention about religion. Slowly. It's mysterious, isn't it? But we don't want to live in a mysterious world, that wonderland. We want to be sure about it. Slowly, slowly, slowly. It works. One person. Yeah, one person. This is what the Quran presents to us that we have to do that. That's enough today, man. No, that's wow, man.
That's it.
Wow, it's all right.
MashaAllah.
I'm sorry. Alhamdulillah, the brothers there also, sister and brother, were
Alhamdulillah.
all right. Say Bismillah.
Bismillah. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. MashaAllah.
Pray.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma alamtana. Innaka anta alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Hurmati Surat al-Fatiha.
So we are lifted with the comparison between men's of the men's Aina
Yes.
before that's it. So today is 16.
Thank you all.